The management meeting had been called on short notice. I arrived early only to be stopped at the conference room door by none other than my wife's secretary, Miller. She was checking IDs and greeting everyone with radiant smiles until she saw me. Her smile vanished. She sneered. I frowned and calmly handed over my ID badge. Network Security Manager. It read. She didn't even look at it. Engineer Clark, please. Miss Ashworth took pity on you and gave you a title. Now you think you actually matter. I ignored her and pulled out my phone, dialing a private number. Someone here is claiming my position was handed to me out of pity. Is that true? Vivian Ashworth's voice came through, cold as ever. It's just a trivial matter. Don't bother me. I'm on my way. Clearly, she didn't care. And Miller, who had overheard the call, rolled her eyes before finally letting me in. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. As soon as I stepped inside the conference room, a chill spread through the air. Colleagues avoided me like I carried a plague. Every time I sat down, people shifted away. I said nothing. I was used to whispers and side eyes at this company. Miller began the meeting in Vivian's absence. Routine items, minor changes, usual nonsense. I half listened while monitoring our internal firewall system on my phone. Then Miller's tone shifted. Due to the 3% drop in quarterly revenue, the board has decided to cut unnecessary departments, she said, pausing for effect. Network security will be the first to go. All eyes turned to me. Some were gleeful, others were smug. You're the only person in your department, she said with a smirk. You haven't contributed anything profitable. You're just waiting for retirement. We're done carrying deadweight. I stared at her, stunned. Are you serious? Dissolving the department entirely? Miller chuckled. What part didn't you understand? And then the vultures circled. Give it up, Clark. You've been playing on your phone the whole time. You're being disrespectful. I was silent for a moment, then finally said, I was monitoring our firewall in real time. You know, to stop cyber attacks. They scoffed. We never see any attacks. Exactly. What are you even doing in there every day? The irony was almost laughable. I was being punished for doing my job too well. I stood up slowly. Without me, this company would have gone under long ago. Network security is the spine of your entire system. Miller rolled her eyes. Who gave you the right to talk like that, Miss Ashworth? I didn't answer because right then the conference room door opened and Vivian walked in. Vivian Ashworth, CEO, my wife. She entered with poise and power, dressed to impress in a sharp designer suit. Everyone fell silent. She didn't sit. She walked straight toward me. Her tone cut like a knife. Sincere Clark, stop spreading fear. Your posturing disgusts me. I blinked. I had thought she was coming to my defense, but clearly I was wrong again. I regret ever bringing you into this company. I still don't know why Grandpa insisted. You're just a face with a title. Who do you think you're fooling? We'd been married for 5 years. Publicly, we maintained the facade. Privately, we lived as strangers. I clenched my jaw. If you want to dissolve the department, fine. But get Elder Ashworth's approval first. I'm here because of him, not you. Vivian's face darkened. So now you want to use my grandfather against me? Is that all you know? Power plays. I don't know what he ever saw in you. Around the table, people started snickering. Just leave already, Clark. Stop dragging this out. And that's when it hit me. The sudden, overwhelming hostility. The way it had escalated over the past year, I remembered whispers of kickbacks, of shady internal deals. Some of the very people attacking me now had once asked me to cover things up. I'd refused. I turned to the loudest voice. Director Harrison, didn't you want me to fake some numbers? And Dee Dee Anderson, nice watch on your salary. And Thompson, how's the waterfront penthouse? They flinched. Vivian oblivious frowned. Are you really going to slander loyal employees on your way out? I laughed coldly. Loyal? These are the people carving up your company from the inside. I patched holes they were exploiting, but you never noticed. Too busy playing boss. I'll ask one last time, I said, looking Vivian in the eye. Are you sure you want me gone? She hesitated just for a second. Then firm again. Yes. I took off my ID badge and placed it on the table. Fine. Just don't regret it later. I turned to leave. Wait, she said for a heartbeat. I thought she had changed her mind. She hadn't since you're being so dramatic. Let's end this completely. Let's get divorced. I never loved you anyway. I smiled bitterly. Don't worry. I never thought you did. And just like that, it was over. She thought she had won. She had no idea what was coming next. I had already planned to file for divorce tomorrow. We'd been married for 5 years, but it was a marriage in name only. We lived under the same roof, yet slept in separate rooms, putting on a show for Elder Ashworth. In truth, we led completely separate lives. Before Vivian could say anything else, the people around her jumped in with flattery. Miss Ashworth made the wise choice. Who knows what future she'd have with someone like him? Exactly. He's a waste. Totally unworthy of her. Good thing it's only been 5 years. Better to cut losses now. Sensing her cold detachment, I turned back to face her. Have you figured out how you're going to explain this to Elder Ashworth? Vivian hesitated for a moment, then scowled. None of your business. Just get out. I'll explain it to Grandpa myself. As she finished, I caught a faint, nearly imperceptible smirk on her lips. After knowing her for 5 years, I understood it instantly. She was banking on Elder Ashworth's affection for her. She had probably already found a replacement for me and planned to present the whole thing to him as a done deal. The thought made me chuckle coldly. What's got you so happy? Found someone new already? Vivian's smirk vanished, replaced by a sharp glare. It has nothing to do with you. Even if I have, he's 100. No, 1,000 times better than you. What right does an employee about to be fired have to question the company's recruitment plans? The crowd quickly rallied behind her. Miss Ashworth's judgment is sound. Certainly better than yours. Stop lingering. Have some dignity. Miller, annoyed, chimed in. Why are you still here? Shameless. People are laughing already. I didn't want to argue anymore. Calmly, I said, if I'm really leaving, I'm taking my proprietary firewall with me. I created it. I own the patent. I won't be leaving it behind for some replacement to benefit from. The crowd scoffed. Big deal. That broken thing. We've never seen it do anything. No viruses, no threats. It's useless. I stayed silent, looking only at Vivian. She was the decision maker. Removing the firewall required her approval. Vivian's face showed hesitation. As part of management, she knew the firewall's true value. She hadn't expected me to take such a hard stance. Maybe she really had believed I'd been freeloading all this time, but she couldn't deny my skills. Otherwise, she wouldn't have kept paying me. She was now visibly worried. Removing the firewall could open a brief window of vulnerability. Our competitors were ruthless. No one else spoke. The room filled with tense whispers. Then the conference room door opened again. A sharply dressed man about my age walked in confidently. His gaze met mine, arrogant and smug. If you want to remove your firewall, go ahead, he said. Now that I'm here, the company won't need you. Vivian visibly relaxed at his arrival. She looked at me with complete indifference now. All right, sincere. You can go. I couldn't care less about whatever you wrote. Understanding dawned. I opened my laptop and began dismantling the firewall with a few quick keystrokes. Lines of code scrolled by. The man scoffed. That architecture years old. I could break it with one layer of code. I don't know what you're bragging about. I looked up at him, my tone calm and slightly mocking. Ah, a fellow professional. Impressive. Can you tell that just by looking? Before he could answer, Vivian stepped beside him proudly. This is Ethan Garrett, a top network expert I hired from San Francisco. He owns his own cybersecurity company. His firewalls are light years ahead of yours. I typed the final command, removed my hands from the keyboard, and looked at Ethan. Mr. Garrett, may I ask where did you study? A top university under which international mentor? Ethan faltered, clearly unprepared for the question. His chest puffed slightly. I'm self-taught. Got into it back in college. Ah, I replied with a soft, meaningful laugh. I see. We weren't even in the same league. I had no desire to continue. Vivian, sensing the subtext, narrowed her eyes. What do you mean by that, sincere? Are you looking down on Ethan? I didn't answer directly. Seeing the process complete on my laptop, I closed it and stood up. My question was simply to see if he was part of the inner circle. At a certain level in our field, we all know each other. My graduate mentor introduced me to countless legends. Ethan Garrett wouldn't even qualify to meet them. Colleagues watched me pack, faces filled with barely concealed satisfaction. Ethan turned to Vivian. Don't worry, leave everything to me. I'll build something better. Guys like him would have been obsolete years ago if we hadn't carried them. Vivian nodded, a faint blush rising to her cheeks. I know you're the new network security manager. I paused for a moment, then walked out. I was done. But just as I exited the building, someone called out. It was Ethan. He had followed me out. His smile full of provocation. You figured it out, didn't you? Vivian and I are close. I hear she's remained untouched all these years with you. Thanks for taking care of my wife for me. My expression darkened. He smirked. I suppose we're even now. She let you freeload off the company, right? The rage I'd held back all day erupted. I grabbed him by the collar, pulling him close, eyes blazing. Let me tell you something, Ethan Garrett. Without me, this company is finished. Hiring an amateur like you will only speed up the collapse. My biggest regret is ever working with people this blind. My fist clenched, knuckles cracking. After a long moment, I shoved him away. I hope you don't regret this. I turned to walk off, but just then, Vivian came running out in her heels. Sincere Clark, what do you think you're doing, Ethan? The moment I let go, crumpled to the ground theatrically, groaning. Just because you can't take it doesn't mean you can lash out. Then Vivian slapped me hard across the face. Acting like this only makes me hate you more. Just because you're incompetent. You resort to hitting people. The blow stunned me. I tasted blood. Vivian helped Ethan up. Her voice sharp. People like you disgusted me. Never show your face again. You're not even worth one of Ethan's fingers. At that moment, every shred of emotion I had left for her vanished. I took a deep breath and spoke firmly. Fine, then let me say this clearly. From now on, the survival of Ashworth Industries has nothing to do with me. Get lost, she shouted. Don't curse my company. We'll never see each other again. Who do you think you are? You think just saying something about my company makes it true? What a joke. I forced a tight smile. Just then, a long black sedan screeched to a halt outside the building. The door opened and an elderly man stepped out, helped by his assistant. White-haired but full of energy, he shouted with surprising authority, "Let me see who's trying to drive Sincere Clark away." I froze. It was Elder Arthur Ashworth. Vivian was just as stunned. "Grandpa, weren't you at the nursing home?" Arthur ignored her, fixing her with a cold stare. "If I were still there, you'd have already ruined this company. Apologize to Sincere Clark. Now." Vivian looked like she'd been slapped. "Grandpa, I don't know who told you what, but why does it have to be him? What if I insist on using Ethan?" Arthur turned to Ethan with a cold glance. Ethan froze, unable to speak. "He is unworthy," Arthur said with a snort. Vivian and Ethan both looked crushed. After a long silence, Vivian spoke. Her face had gone pale. "You've always tried to control my life, but I'm done. I'm going to use Ethan, not just for his skills, but because I'm pregnant with his child." Silence fell. The confession hit me hard. Even if I didn't love her anymore, her betrayal still stung. "You've been cheating with him all along," I muttered. "No wonder you wanted a divorce so badly." Arthur's face twisted with fury. He pounded his cane against the pavement. Have you no shame? How could I have raised a granddaughter like you?" Vivian stood tall, unapologetic. "I hope you can accept us, Grandpa. We truly love each other." Arthur was shaking with rage. "Accept you? You expect me to accept this?" Vivian had made her decision, but she had no idea what was coming next. "You unfilled girl. How could you do something so disgraceful to the family name?" Elder Ashworth lunged forward several times, trying to strike Vivian with his cane. "Mr. Ashworth, please calm down. I truly love Vivian." Ethan stepped in, shielding her. "You get out of my sight." Elder Ashworth gasped, breathless. His assistant quickly brought him an oxygen mask. "Grandpa," Vivian called out, eyes red with concern. She tried to approach him, but Ethan held her back. "Don't call me Grandpa." Elder Ashworth snapped once he caught his breath. Just then, Vivian's phone rang loudly. Distracted, she answered it without turning off the speaker. Secretary Miller's frantic voice burst through the speaker. "Miss Ashworth, bad news. Someone's attacking the firewall right now. It looks like it won't hold. The alarms are blaring." Vivian's face turned pale. Her voice cracked. "Why today of all days?" I couldn't help but sneer internally. "Yeah, why today?" Vivian looked at me uncertain. Ethan immediately stepped up, puffing up his chest. "Leave it to my firewall. It'll be fine. Hasn't it ever rung before?" I said nothing, just smiled faintly. Of course, no alarms ever rang. My firewall was solid. Before Ethan could say more, Secretary Miller's voice rose in panic. Ethan's firewall. It's already collapsed. Less than a minute. How is that possible? Ethan stammered, his body trembling. I learned everything step by step from courses and instructors. How could this happen? Oh, really? Which instructors? I asked casually. Ethan snapped, roaring. Shut up. That's none of your business. Kicking me while I'm down now, huh? I scoffed. It didn't take a genius to guess he'd taken some dodgy online course and thought he was a genius. His San Francisco company was probably a facade, too. Vivian was panicking. She ran a tech company, but had no clue about the tech. What do we do now? She cried. Elder Ashworth looked like he might pass out again. I quickly stepped forward, helping him. Don't worry, Grandpa Ashworth. The core system files still have my defenses. These alarms can't breach that layer. He gripped my arm tightly, relief washing over his face. Vivian, though, didn't care about any of that. She turned to Ethan, frantic. Ethan, hurry. Save the company. If the core data leaks, we're finished. Ethan rushed to open his laptop, trying to salvage something. But it was too late. His screen lit up with a taunting message from foreign hackers and a progress bar showing the data leak. This? What do I do? I don't know how to handle this. Ethan looked deathly pale, helpless. It was over. Vivian wobbled, desperate. She looked at me, remembering I was a programmer, too. She rushed over, yanking me towards the laptop. Sincere, Clark, you know computers. You must know how to fix this. I looked at the screen. Yes, I could fix it, but I didn't move. Yeah, I know how. But I have nothing to do with you anymore, Vivian. Remember, you fired me. I'm no longer your employee. Her face twisted in disbelief. Can't you help? Just this once. I held up 6 fingers. Freelance work starts at 6 figures. No upper limit. She was stunned by the price tag. She turned to Elder Ashworth helplessly, but he wasn't having it. He met her eyes and snorted coldly. Where do you get the nerve to trouble Mr. Clark? Years ago, he wasn't someone just anyone could hire, even outside the company. You think you can command him with a few words? Vivian looked completely lost. She couldn't understand why her grandfather was treating me with such respect, as if I were someone important. After a long pause, she mumbled, Grandpa, what are you talking about? Elder Ashworth looked at her exasperated. Are you blind, fool? You still think Sincere Clark is just an ordinary programmer. He's a top hacker, one I personally recruited by calling in a huge favor. Letting him marry you was doing you a favor. Vivian stood still, disbelief written all over her face. Him? Yes, him, Elder Ashworth said firmly. Sincere Clark was the excellent match I chose for you, and now you're carrying someone else's child. You've utterly disappointed me. She still didn't get the full picture. The flood of information left her overwhelmed. Elder Ashworth continued sneering. You think I brought him here just to protect your little company's network? That was secondary. His main job was to protect a confidential government project we were jointly involved in. If that data leaks, the consequences will ripple far beyond us. You stupid woman. I nodded at Vivian. The hackers earlier were targeting the core project files. Breaking into your company was just a stepping stone. She was stunned. She had no idea there were so many hidden layers. Ethan tried to argue, but Elder Ashworth barked, Shut up. I'll deal with you and Vivian later. This is a disgrace to the Ashworth family. With the core project safe for now, Elder Ashworth relaxed, grasping my hand gently. I'll entrust this to you. Please keep a close eye on it. I nodded. Elder Ashworth turned to return to his car. Vivian rushed after him, shouting, Grandpa, what about my company? From the car, he looked back, confused. You made this mess. Clean it up. Weren't you the one who didn't want me involved? Didn't want me managing you? Got a child on the way and still have the face to ask me. Ashworth Corporation has more than just your one company. With that, the door slammed shut. Vivian stood frozen. Ethan's laptop had completely crashed. I was about to leave when Vivian grabbed my arm, desperate. Sincere, Clark. I was wrong. I was blind. I shouldn't have treated you like that. I'm begging you. Please save the company's lost database. I pulled my arm free, cold. Why should I help you? Didn't you hear Grandpa? Hiring me now starts at 6 figures and, Vivian, you're not even qualified to hire me anymore. I stopped depending on your company's meager salary a long time ago." She stood speechless, tears welling up. Then she choked out, "I'm willing to reconcile, okay? I really made a mistake. Please give me another chance." Ethan suddenly snapped out of his daze and rushed forward. "Vivian, you can't do this." Slap, Vivian slapped him hard. "You liar. Get out of my sight." Ethan held his cheek in shock. She didn't even look at him. She turned back to me, eyes full of hope. "Sincere Clark, come back. I promise no one in the company will ever bother you again." I let out a short laugh. So, she knew all along. No need. I wish you and Ethan Garrett all the best. Hope you have a healthy baby soon. A few days later, Vivian showed up at my door again. "What do you want?" I asked, already annoyed. She looked pale, weak. "I received a court summons. Sincere Clark, how could you file for divorce against me?" I leaned against the doorframe, raising an eyebrow. "You cheated first." "Of course, I'm filing." Tears streamed down her face. "Can't you, for Grandpa's sake, help me one more time? The company's really going under. Did you get Elder Ashworth's permission to come here?" She shook her head slightly. I picked up my phone and called Elder Ashworth in front of her, explaining the situation and asking for his advice. He paused, then let out a cold snort. "Sincere, decide for yourself." I hung up and turned to her. "Sorry, I'm not doing any more work for your company." She clearly heard Elder Ashworth's stance. Her tears flowed freely. "Why is Grandpa so unfair? I was always his favorite. And you, Sincere Clark, why are you so heartless? I even got rid of the baby for you." I shrugged unmoved. "This is the path you chose. Your current situation is your fault." With that, I slammed the door shut. "Sincere Clark, won't you just listen to one more thing? I really know I was wrong. Please." No matter how much she pounded on the door, I didn't open it. A few days later, the news came out. Vivian's branch of Ashworth Industries would be restructured and restarted. It hadn't gone bankrupt outright, likely thanks to Elder Ashworth. But it wasn't for her sake. I heard she was demoted to a basic-level employee. Her role had been stripped. Elder Ashworth still needed the company to protect the core project, but Vivian was finished. As for Ethan Garrett, he was forced to return to his hometown, disgraced and done. Sometime later, I received another offer. This time from Ashworth Corporation headquarters. A formal invitation. Once again, I walked into the main Ashworth building. This time as the new network security manager. This way, Mr. Clark Gelder Ashworth treated me with the utmost respect. The corrupt directors were all gone. Among the regular staff, I saw Vivian, now just another face in the crowd. Our eyes met. Tears streamed down her cheeks. But I didn't hold her gaze. From that day forward, our paths were forever separate.